Welcome back to the first 100 hours, your path to ACC. I'm Kim Nickel, and we are now at the part where I get to tell you more of my story, kind of the whole picture of it. We've talked about the requirements. We've talked about what all of the terms mean. We've talked about tracking your hours. We've talked about so many different parts. And so now I get to tie this all up. So here's how I did it. I created my supportive structures. I knew I would need them, so I didn't get overwhelmed and stuck. So I joined ICF Global so that I could sign up for Reciprocoach. It also helped me think of myself as a professional coach, which kind of was an identity I had to grow into, even though I had worked as a coach before. The brain is weird. That's just what was true for me. I bought professional liability insurance, gave me peace of mind, plus a commitment to being a professional service provider. I set up my tracker in Google Sheets so that I could start to record all of the coaching hours that counted. And I joined a local ICF chapter. I ended up choosing Sacramento, even though I don't live in Sacramento, because so many of my classmates were members, and one of my instructor was a member there. And I wanted to stay connected and to be a part of a community that I felt like I already had an established relationship with. So that's why I chose ICF Sacramento. And you, of course, are definitely welcome to come and join us or to simply drop in as a guest from time to time. But this community of professional coaches really helped me. Also, with ICF Sacramento and all of the other chapters, they will offer programs that will also count as continuing education. So once you accomplish that ACC credential, to maintain it, you will have a requirement of getting so many continuing coach education units. And being a member of a local chapter is a great way to do that. For Sacramento, it's $60 a year for members, and it gets you access to almost all of our events for free. And most of them, you will also get CCEUs, those continuing education units. So for me, I thought, of course, easy. Like I definitely want to do that. Other tools that I used PayPal for receiving payments. It also worked. I do have some clients who are outside the US, and PayPal works fine for that as well. I have heard from some coaches who are based in other countries that there are other payment platforms that might work better, but PayPal works really nicely. You can create invoices in it, or you can simply have people pay through there directly, but it works, and I have found it to be very useful. I use Calendly for scheduling. I use the free service. And then I have a Zoom account, and it's the paid one so that I have unlimited amount of time on my calls. It's about $15 a month, and I use it for my coaching sessions. Although ICF also has some kind of promotion with Zoom. I think you get 10% off if you are an ICF member. So check that out as well. But simple tools make it easy for you to let people pay you, to let people schedule with you, and to let people meet you. I got my hours by trading coaching with classmates, doing reciprocal coaching through ICF, offering a package of 6 weeks of coaching for free to 5 people. That created my 30 hours of pro bono. And then I offered a package of 8 weeks of coaching for payment. And again, I started with a sliding scale because my goal was paid coaching hours. I don't care how much. I don't want to talk about or think about pricing right now. I just need to do more coaching. And now, of course, it's a year later. And so my pricing and my packages have changed as I have changed and grown as a coach. But when you're starting, let it be easy for you and for them. Here's what I charged. I started for free. I did trade, I did a sliding scale, I did 8 weeks of coaching for $800. That was what I offered after my sliding scale. And again, my thinking was when I first started, I felt very uncertain about what to charge regular people. All the coaching I had done prior to that was in corporate settings, and corporate pricing is just different than like what I think of as a regular person. So I just started at $100 an hour. And I already showed you my coaching form, right? So for my sliding scale, people could just choose what their price was going to be. I still did a consult with each client. So when I first started too, and I was doing my sliding scale coaching, it also was the time that I became very clear about what my onboarding process was. So I would have a consult to talk about, how I work and to learn more about them. Why were they coming to coaching? What did they want to get out of it? Were we going to be a good fit together? And then when they said yes, I do want to work with you, Kim, they say, what happens next? I had to think about that. So that was also when I realized, okay, so if you're a yes, here's what happens next. I will send you my coaching agreement. Take a look and sign that. I will send you my invoice. I will send you my scheduling link. Oh, and I also forgot to include, in terms of tools, I use HelloSign for online signatures. DocuSign is also very popular, and there are probably others, but it was easy to create and then send it by email, and then they could sign it online. And that would be how I captured my coaching agreement. So developing my process for how do I onboard a client once they say yes, I really learned how to do that within those first 100 hours. And for me too, at the time, I didn't know how, I hadn't really thought through how to sell, and I didn't want to surprise people with pricing. So I really liked having a sliding scale at the beginning because that made that conversation really easy. Like we'd already agreed on the price because they chose it and I was going to say yes. So it just worked out really nicely. For me in the beginning, it was all about reducing any friction and increasing the ease with which I could coach people in exchange for some kind of payment. That was my whole focus of the summer, right after my coaching program ended. So the strategic thinking looks like this. The goal is 100 coaching hours, 70 of them have to be paid. This will make me a better coach. This is where I create my consult and onboarding process. I'm a real coach right now. I have the skills and tools to offer a valuable service right now. I want to complete my first 100 hours as quickly as I can to keep my momentum going. There are people who already want coaching. I don't even have to make it complicated. This was all of the thinking that really helped me within those first 100 hours to build that momentum and to build that confidence. So that is what I did. As I mentioned before, you can talk to 10 different coaches and you'll learn 10 different ways that people got their hours. So do that. Talk to other coaches. Ask them, how did you get your hours when you first started? Be inspired, be creative, make choices that work for you. We've got one more video, just a short one at the end. I'll see you then.